just works out perfect. Wrestling at the Chase, Billy Corgan, obviously the owner, very old school, very good fan back in the day, but obviously very good NWA owner. He's really making the tradition important, and to be in that building was so cool and so different because there hadn't been wrestling there, and I don't know, it was like, I think it was 40 years or something like that. So it's crazy.
37 years actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just awesome to kind of feel that moment. Are you totally in line with that? Like thinking of Billy, like we got to go old school. We got to kind of, bring it back before we bring it forward.
I think here I'm gonna move my chair here a little bit here. Sorry, readjust. The conversations I've had with Billy is the importance of melding, mixing both of them together. It would be silly for us to try or to not recognize our past and where we came from and where ultimately pro wrestling came from, because the NWA is the longest running pro wrestling company, a business in the world. Like we're the originals, we're the OGs. Everybody split off from us. So I know it's important to the NWA to not forget about that and to remind people about that. But it's also and for people to be familiar with that. Like a lot of these settings and stuff are settings and places that people remember when they were younger as kids, and they're passing that on to their children. But it's also important to remember, like, wrestling does evolve, and for you to be, it's just like anything else, it changes with the times. So we also want to let people know that we're still a modern pro wrestling. We still tell, aggressive storylines. It's just when you see the men and women that step into the NWA ring, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive. It's a stiffer style of pro wrestling. That's why you don't see as many of the flips and the big high spots and everything, because NWA, we lay the wood to people, and it's hard to do that and still be able to run 90 million different spots per se. Does that make any sense?
You're big. Obviously, Nick Aldis is big. Tyrus is a monster. I mean, Pope is pretty big as far as just like a normal guy. A lot of other leagues have smaller guys. You guys really have like the real Chris Masters, Tom Latimer. I mean, these are all big dudes.
We're very proud on the fact that we have grown ass men and women. If you look, if you want to look at it from, I guess, an analytical standpoint, majority throughout the years, your top guys, your superstars, your guys that were putting on the best matches were seasoned individuals, were seasoned adults that had been through the business and perfected their craft, and they were able to give the people those great matches. Billy and the office of NWA, they all feel the same way, that we want to give opportunities to younger guys and give them options and stuff. But the core group of men and women that step into the ring for NWA are adults, grown men and women that have experienced life, that have I guess, stepped into the ring enough to know what they're doing and there to protect themselves, but also to be able to give the fans a different style match. NWA and all the wrestlers that wrestle for the NWA really truly feel like we are the best at what we do. And we're very proud of that fact. And we work very hard to use that to make us stand out and be different than everybody else. We are very, very, very proud of the fact that we've just got a bunch of grown-ass adults in there that know what they're doing and can put on a hell of a match for the fans.
And speaking of Billy, not that long ago, it seemed like that was more in line with what he likes traditionally in his wrestling product. Like, he's not to say those guys aren't great athletes to do the flips and all other stuff, but it's not really kind of what it's in line with the NWA and what you guys are going after. Like, even with promos, it's not scripted. You guys literally at the podium go. It's like you may have bullet points or you may have something you need to say or want to say, but it's not scripted and it comes off better promo-wise. I mean, it's just a different standpoint of wrestling, more traditional.
It's a very unhinged, I guess, situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I remember early conversations with Billy and again the officials at NWA. It's a sink or swim type of situation. You got to go out there. There's no music. There's no smoke and lights and stuff to kind of hide you. You're basically handed the bare necessities, and you go out there and you talk to the people, and you know what I mean. You be real, and if you're not those things, if you don't go out there and give them your heart, like, you'll see it. You know what I mean? There's been a few guys and gals that have failed, you know what I mean? And they've, need to maybe get some more experience and then come back and hone their skills a little bit better. It's a very sink or swim. I keep repeating that because it is. Every time I go out there, I've been with the company since it started Power. We're going on 2 years now. It's you walk out there, I still have to prove myself every time that mic's handed to me, and that's kind of the rawness. That's what I like about it. You know what I mean? That's in my opinion, that's how you create magic. That's how the fans get the most out of it. It's not somebody in the back trying to I guess read a piece of paper and trying to maybe guess how the fans are feeling or reacting. Whereas for me, I'll go out there and I'll say things, and it's almost like a little fishing expedition for me. I go out there and throw out there a little bit of my bait and see what they're biting on, and find out what's working and what's not working, and go from there. Or if I'm just plain pissed off and not having a good day, and I'm legitimately upset about the situation, I can go out there and say that and not have to worry about repercussions in the back with the boss and stuff. It's his freedom goes both ways. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes he gets what he wants, and sometimes he gets more than what he asked for.